I don't want to alarm anyone, but I've not won a game since last episode. Last episode, unbeaten. Since then, not so good. Look, we're in 14th. There's no reason to panic just yet, but our form really does have to pick up sooner rather than later. We have had a couple of injuries to deal with. We have gone through a jam-packed December, but to be honest, the next month isn't all that much less jam-packed. Today we have Southampton and Wolves. We need results here. We need to get some form going because our games to end the season are bad. Last 6 games, Chelsea, Tottenham, Liverpool, Leeds, Arsenal, Newcastle. Yeah, I have to beat Southampton and Wolves today. Yes, folks, how is it going? Welcome back to Part 2 Prem. Today is episode number 85, and it is the start of a brand new week of action. We are officially at the halfway point in the season, and so far, so good, kind of. Of course, last episode, a massive win against Peterborough. Wanted to use that as a springboard. As you've seen, it's not really how things have played out. So 5 games played in the month of December so far. 5 games without a win. The first, a 1-1 draw against Brentford, a game where we rescued a very, very late equaliser. Scotty Williams on off the bench. Hunter getting an unlikely assist as well was really nice to see. And ultimately, in a game where we probably didn't deserve anything, we got a crucial point. And after one draw, potentially the biggest draw of the season. This one against Manchester United at home. We gave them a good little battle. We took the lead early on. They replied via that free kick, and from there, for the next 70-odd minutes, absolutely nothing happened, except JAIME got injured, and it's a pretty bad injury. It's an injury which he's still recovering from, but today he is back in the team. We've definitely missed this man a lot in our midfield. That injury he had, by the way, was a pulled calf muscle, so not the worst injury in the world, but one that kept him out of a couple of must-win games against teams below us in the league, and we didn't win either of them. 1-0 defeat against Sheffield United. This was the kind of game where away from home, I knew things were going to be tricky. On another day, I think we maybe get something here, but we did just lack a little bit of killer instinct going forward. Meanwhile, the game against Leicester, a slightly different story. In this game, we were the better team. We were on top that little bit more. You might notice here, rotation necessary with the team just due to, well, fitness as much as anything. The schedule has been pretty brutal. Montero, who came into this team to try and fill the boots of JAIME, has had, I don't know, an okay run of games. He's not played particularly well. The only silver lining really with him is he is continuing to develop. And whilst JAIME has been out the team, Montero's been in the team developing a little bit. So that's the positive. It's not much of a positive. Most recently, we did get a further point in our survival mission. This one came against West Ham United in a game where I'm not entirely sure we deserved it. It was a weird game. We started out well. McKillop assisted Aboubakari. Skamaka then got a goal back for them. Gaspar scored before half-time. And unfortunately for us, in the 69th minute, West Ham managed to get a goal, and from there, we had a couple of chances, as did West Ham, but the game kind of fizzled out into nothing. On the balance of play, maybe 2-2 was fair. Elsewhere in the team, Teixeira's had a couple of little minor issues, I want to say with injury, not even injuries. He's had 2 colds in the space of a week, bless him. He's been in the doctor's room quite a lot, but as a result of that, he's not played each and every game, and with this packed schedule, a couple of key players missing, it's just not quite clicked for us, but players are back today. Southampton feels like a very, very winnable game. They're in 13th, so only 1 place above us. And then after that, away from home against Wolverhampton Wanderers, a Wolves team predicted to finish 10th. They've not been playing very well this year. They actually qualified for the Europa League last year. I think that European football has caught up with them, so potentially an opportunity to get some points against them. Just in some off-the-pitch news, you can see here we have had our youth candidate preview for the year. Looked at this last episode and it hadn't yet appeared. It has now updated and appeared. Apparently we've got an attacking midfielder to look forward to, as well as some fullbacks and wingers. It's an excellent intake, could be a golden generation. Don't look too far into that, let's be honest. We've all been told we're going to get golden generations and then they end up being rubbish, but at least for now, with our 4.5-star youth recruitment, I'm going to believe we've got something to look forward to come the month of March. From a financial point of view, we are continuing to generate a lot of money in the Premier League, of course, as money gets thrown at you, it feels like. We're almost at £15 million in the balance. That, of course, includes some of the expenditure that's gone on facilities through the year. As a result of that, we've got a rather healthy-looking transfer budget and wage budget. So, as we approach the transfer window, if there's some options out there, there is still maybe an opportunity to bring in a player or two. So, yeah, don't be surprised if, certainly by next episode, there's one or two new players in the first team. That said, if I am going to sign anyone, I would like to trim the fat off the first team just a little bit. Currently, we've got 30 players in the first team, which looks like a lot, but what is perhaps worth considering is there's a handful of players towards the bottom here, kind of youngsters for the future, who are currently training with the first team, but actually just playing regular football with our under-21s, who right now, and I don't want to big them up too much, they are top of the English under-21 Division 3. So, round of applause for the under-21s. That bodes well for the future, I think. That said, just going back to the first team, if I sort the team by appearances, there's a couple of players like Cameron Cooper, Dale Owen, who I'd potentially like to move on in January. Did look to move them on actually at the end of the last transfer window, but there just wasn't interest there. Elsewhere, Blaine Goller is a player who I've got a bit of a question mark over his potential, over his ability. The fact he's valued at £5 to £6 million makes me wonder if maybe I should just be trying to cash in on him. He's been playing okay for the under-21s, but at the same time, he's a player who I don't think is ever going to be good enough for the first team. Besides that, though, not a great deal going on, at least at the moment. Just to look back at the league table, we have 21 points from 19 games. That is the kind of points per game total we need to stay up. Looking behind us, Sheffield United are currently 18th in the division, albeit they have played a game more. They're 8 points behind us, which I know on the face of it seems like a really healthy cushion. Given how our form's been as of late, I'm not quite as convinced by it. A result today would be really, really good. When it comes to team news for today's game, this is the lineup we're going to go with. Aboubakari locks down that centre attacking mid position. He's been playing pretty well on the whole in that position. Gustavo Lemos, who's the real competition there, hasn't really been wowing me as of late. I mean, you can see his form in the last 20 games. It's just the colour of piss, which I think probably sums up his form pretty well. Elsewhere in the team, Jaime is back in the lineup, although worth noting, not 100% fit, passed a fitness test, but the kind of player who I would like to take off maybe at the 60-minute mark if I can, just to protect him a little bit. That said, he is such a key player for us. We've missed him and his creative outlet from deep, so need him in the team today. And elsewhere in the team, you might have noticed here, Volder and Addons sticking out in the wing-back positions. Two players who I have been rotating in and out the team. Volder has been, I guess, on the whole, okay this season. I mean, for both wing-backs, they had great years in the Championship. They have struggled with this step up, but I'm not going to read into that too much. Ultimately, we are grinding out some results. Adam, of course, potentially scored goal of the season, and even if I did want to drop them, I've not really got anyone else to bring in to replace them, so we're stuck with them. In the final third, we are struggling for goals. Chilumbu had a good start to his time at the club, has slowed down a lot. Similar story with Gaspar, but today they are both in the 11, and I'm hoping they're both going to turn up with some much-needed improved performances. Of course, after this game, we are going to be taking on Wolves away from home, so for away day fans, don't you fret. Southampton, we've met them in the Cup before. We've done an away day at Southampton before. At home against them, I want to believe we can get something here. They sit one place above us. I'm not sure if with a win we can go above them. Can we go above them with a win? We can go above them with a win. Confirmed. Right, well then I want to win this. Throwing on the far side, Vekic for them. Throwing it to Brereton Diaz. Vekic with the ball in this wide area. Trying to get into the middle. It's blocked as far as Greaves, but still Southampton with the ball. Aboubakari though, battling away and now bringing the ball out for us. Only as far as Greaves. Gives the ball away in a bad area. Edwards in behind. Difficult angle. And I'll tell you what, he's only just hit that wide of the post. Just a little reminder, by the way, we've not lost in a live commentary yet this season. 4 games before this that we've not lost in. I feel like you guys are a good luck charm or something. It seems like when the camera's on the team, when the focus and attention is with our squad, we actually put in some good performances. I'm going to hope that trend continues, but so far in this game, Southampton have had us on the back foot. As good as the last 2 episodes have been for unbeaten runs, we've also had 2 0-0s. I'm a bit concerned I'm getting deja vu again. This could be a third 0-0 in a row. It's got that kind of energy. Gonna tell the players I'm far from pleased. Truth be told, 0-0, not really the worst result. As much as I'd love to get a win to kind of steady the ship a little bit, having not won in our previous 5 games. If we could just, chip along with a few points here and there for the rest of the season, that will just be enough to keep us up, I hope. Of course, knowing how difficult our fixtures are to end the season, would like to get a few more points on the board sooner rather than later. And at the halfway point in the season, with the immediate games we've got ahead, a win sooner rather than later, just to build up a bit of confidence, would be nice. Anyway, Southampton with the ball at the back. Vekic going all the way back to the keeper. We're going to try and press high and force him long, and that we are going to do. The ball going to be gobbled up by Valentin. I believe that's how we say his name, Valentin. Comment section has helped me out over the weekend. Adam inside to Schmid. JAIME now with the ball. Can he make something happen? He's going to give it back to Schmid, our defender with the best passing in the team, Schmid, and you saw it there. Great build-up play. Gaspar dinks it. I think he's offside. I don't celebrate it. It's a great finish. He's dinked the keeper. Doesn't score many, Gaspar. Scored a load against Leeds. Since then, not a whole lot. It was a great finish. Not going to count, is it? I knew it. Good to see us getting the ball into some advanced areas, and in fact, we're going to have another chance here. JAIME puts it in. Tejera heads it goalwards. VAR is checking something. What are you checking? Are you about to upset me again, VAR? The ref, he's got his hand to his ear. He's getting the geezer up in the sky pad or whatever to give him some words. Doesn't matter. Goal's going to count. Do not panic. JAIME with the ball in, and Tejera with his second goal of the season. Previous goal, I believe, came against Manchester United. Another one added there. Our plate here, I'm going to make some subs. Chilumbu not having a great game today. That is something that I feel like I've said a lot over the course of this year. Came in with a big price tag on his head. So far, he's not exactly been rewarding our faith and confidence in him with goals. But at the same time, he's not been completely terrible, I guess. I really am trying to just big him up when I can't. He's been not good. JAIME's having a really good game at Roaming Playmaker, but I'm going to take him off just to protect him a little bit. Let's get some fresh legs in. Machete off as well. McKillop and Montero coming into the midfield. That's been a pretty common double sub I've made throughout this year. McKillop and Montero, a young duo, but a young kind of energetic duo that I think we can just stick in the midfield to inject some fresh legs, especially in a game like this where we are being made to work hard for the ball. Southampton having more of it than us, which is a little unusual. Usually we're the team dictating the play. 10 minutes left, still 1-0. Gonna get shouty to hopefully see out this game. Let's make the change we've made a lot. Get rid of pass into space, shorten the tempo. I'm hoping I didn't just see a highlight begin before the tactical changes take effect. Otherwise, I'm gonna wish I'd paused the game half a second sooner. Tuma bringing the ball forward, crosses it in. Schmid gets it away. Follentine heads it away, but it's not a good defensive header. Tomlinson inside. Setford makes one save. It's squared, and oh my word, it's some heroic defending and goalkeeping between Tejera and Setford to keep it at 1-0. 3 minutes left, but another highlight here, and Southampton in possession. They've not created a lot, but they're going to need to create something to get back in this game. Volder puts in a tackle, but it's not a great one, and then it's just played inside to McGrath. It's 1-1. Is that Southampton's first shot on target of the game? Apparently it's their third. I mean, it's worked well, but that is frustrating, isn't it? Just looking to see out this game. Tuma with the ball forward. I thought when Volder put in the tackle there, that might be enough, but Tomlinson reacted quickly, squared it, and Setford, I mean, he didn't need to come for it, did he? Committed early, made a mistake. With that, there's 2 minutes left, and I'm going to revert the changes I made previously and also just go a little bit more direct. 4 minutes of added time. I thought we were about to get a critical win, a win that we've craved for so long. Unfortunately, it has been snatched away from us. We're going to have to settle for a draw, a game where we were perhaps the better team. But let's look at the positives. We didn't lose. The unbeaten live commentary streak goes on. Elsewhere, by the way, Sheffield United, currently in 18th, got battered 8-0 by Arsenal. So, could be worse. I have just noticed the game against Wolves is literally 2 days away. I should have made a few more subs during that game. I'm going to have to rest the players now. That is not an easy away game either. I know they're in 19th, but they are going to cause us issues, I fear. I do have the option to change team expectations here. I mean, do I get that much money for changing expectations? It doesn't really feel like it. You know what? Because of where we are, I'm going to be sensible. I'm just going to put attempt to avoid relegation. As good as we are in the league right now, there is some paranoia from me, knowing our remaining games and how we end the season, that feels like we're not completely out the woods yet. We need to stop drawing games. We need to start winning games. I mean, when you look at things here, what is that? 1 win in our last 12 games. Just counted them. Yeah, 1 win in our last 12 games. That's not good enough. Okay, we are going to rest up the players, though. Wolverhampton Wanderers coming up in 2 days' time, or actually 1 day time now. At least it's a late kickoff at 8 p.m. We have got the away day to look forward to. I'm going to get forward to that one. Don't think we're going to instantly be doing any transfer business, but the transfer window is now officially open, so maybe we'll get some offers from our players. Either way, I'll see you in a mo. Didn't have one of these for you yesterday, so we'll make up for it with a slightly longer one today. Assuming Wolves have some good stuff going on, of course, Wolverhampton, northwest of Birmingham, and Wolverhampton Wanderers Molineux Stadium is, well, it's just in the centre of Wolverhampton. Who would have thought? First thoughts from the satellite view. The stadium is a weird shape. It almost looks like at one point they had a running track around it and then they were like, no, actually, we want a normal stadium. What is up with these slightly bendy outer grounds? I don't understand. What I do understand, though, car parks. Look at this. It's car park central here at Wolves. We've got a great little flurry of car parks off on one side to the north. More car parking, including some lovely spaced, curved parking spots. This really is a weird thing. It almost sounds sexual the way I talk about car parks at times. But now the moment of truth. What does it look like when I click the yellow man? And the answer is... there's a whole lot of dots. Now I'm excited. I have no idea if the Billy Wright stand is the main stand, but it looks main from the outside. This looks very much like the formal entrance. Also, what is up with this? It looks very jazzy. I've just noticed the handles on the doors for the stadium are the Wolves badge. You're getting a point for that immediately. I don't know about anyone else. I want to know more about the dots in the stadium. Can I go for a tour around the stadium? I mean, that is the dream. Here we are. Here's the front door. Look at it. It even says pull on the door, as opposed to not saying anything. Let's be honest. It's really awkward, isn't it, when a door doesn't say push or pull and you're there doing the wrong one. Yep, that's happened to me recently, in case you can't tell. I have found the Wolverhampton Wanderers trophy room, which, I'm going to be honest, no disrespect here, Wolves, I'm surprised at how many trophies you've got in here. I've managed to get inside the stadium itself. I want to check out the menu. Can we have a look at the menu, please? Okay, £quarter pounder burger, £3.50. That's not as expensive as I thought it would be, although this is in 2014. That this image was taken. So with the current state of the economy, you can probably stick a 1 in front of the 3 there. It's probably £13.50 for a burger these days. This is a cool stadium. Look, they've even got the badge everywhere. Can we all admit that the Wolverhampton Wanderers badge is one of the coolest badges in football? Like, it's very simple, it's very geometric, but you can make door handles out of it. It looks great made out of seats. It's just top quality badge. Shame they don't have the Doritos sponsor anymore. Otherwise, Wolverhampton Wanderers would probably have the best kits in the Premier League. I do feel sorry for fans who end up in the green section here, assuming this isn't some temporary seating, because there's no roof above that bit. You are getting wet if you've not got an umbrella. It's a pretty stadium, fantastic colour scheme. I'm a big fan. If I'm going to be super critical, minor disappointment, no drone footage. I just noticed they've got more Wolves badges like on the fence here. I wonder how many times the Wolves badge features around this stadium, on door handles, on the outside of stands. Like, Wolverhampton Wanderers are fully aware of how sexy their logo is, clearly, because their badge is just plastered here, there, and everywhere. I mean, look at this car parking. Just look at it, admire it. I know some of this is the Asda car parking. Let's be honest, on match days, 100% football fans park here. Sorry, Asda. Okay, look, this away day's had many tangents, but Molineux, lovely stadium, looks even cool in the picture in the game, doesn't it? Let's be honest. I'm going to give Molineux a solid 7 out of 10. Unique stadium, bit of character, reasonably priced burgers in 2014, and all in all, just a fun little away day. So given the fact that we only played 48 hours ago, I have got to make a couple of changes just for the sake of fitness, and also just for the sake of giving some players game time who haven't really had a chance yet this year. From an attacking point of view, let's be honest, Gaspar has games where he's amazing and games where he's not so good. And whilst he has actually developed and improved as a player, he's not someone who I feel like has to start every game. So dropping him here, giving him a chance to recover a little bit, because he has played the last 5 games, I don't think is necessarily the worst decision. And elsewhere, Chilumbu has been, well, not good enough. And as for Kevan Williams, he's actually out injured. So with that in mind, Gadia is going to play alongside Price. Of course, Price we signed at the end of the transfer window. Hasn't, I don't think, featured yet in a live commentary. Has made a couple of cameos on off the bench. Started games here and there. He's going to get a live com debut today. We are going to be playing him, I think, not as a pressing forward. I think I'm going to play him as a deep line playmaker. There's a temptation to play 2 advanced forwards. Do I go with 2 advanced forwards? Just feels a bit boring, but it always seems to work in Football Manager. You know what? We're going to do it for today's game. We'll see if it works out. I think that makes the most of Price's kind of strengths. If we compare him and Gadia, they are 2 rather similar players, 2 very pacey players. You can see, looking at things, Price is pretty much better in every single area, but as a duo with their pace and kind of general physicality, hopefully they can stretch defences for us. In behind, I am going with Lemos over Aboubakari. I want to give Lemos game time. I want to persist with him. I know his form's not been amazing, but having sat out a few games, I want to continue his development. This is the kind of player who I think could be here for the long haul. With that in mind, and the fact that he's only 18 years old, needs game time. Machete is going to play right wing back today. Volder is one player who's played a lot of minutes this year. It's definitely caught up with him. So with that in mind, Machete is going to move wide. That makes space for McKillop in the middle. And as for the defence and everywhere else, no changes needed, although you might spot in the condition kind of column here. There's a couple of players who aren't quite 100% fit, but I think we have to take a risk on today, including JAIME, who of course we did take off early in that previous game so that he could play this one, hoping that as that roaming playmaker for us, he's going to have another really good display. Has had his issues with injuries, but now he's learnt to play roaming playmaker and defensive midfielder. I think he's looking really good for this role all of a sudden. It's hard not to look at that previous Southampton game as 2 points dropped, especially because we were in control for large spells of that game. But with this game here, it's a slightly different proposition. As the away team, we know that's going to make things difficult, but knowing where Wolves are, if we want to stay up, we need to take the game to them. They've got plenty of players you'll recognise. They are definitely underperforming so far this year. They've got quality. I think both teams are going to be looking at this as very, very winnable. Okay, there's a kickoff highlight. Am I about to be hailed a genius for my attacking changes and just mixing it up with the personnel, or am I an idiot? We're about to find out as well. I thought for a second the perfect through ball was going to be played through to Gadia to score. Unfortunately, it's not a good ball through. It's gone all the way to Woodman, and now it's with Wolves playing it out from the back. Comas lays it wide to Pozzo, the right wing back, lays it inside to Jolson. Ball worked kind of nicely, but Tejera reads it well. Schmid to McKillop. Wide to Adam, who's got a few players inside to aim for, potentially the number 15. Opts to go back, gets caught in possession when really he probably should have been looking, I think, to get it to Schmid. And now it's Curtis Jones on the far side who takes it down superbly, plays it to Vitina, and someone, and I don't want to throw whoever it was under the bus, missed an interception there. We're a goal down after less than a minute. I don't want to blame anyone. Who was this in the middle? Who was it? Was it Tejera? Oh, it was... I love Tejera as well. No, we can't criticise him. He's done no wrong there. It was a good effort. I did wonder if actually it might have been offside if Tejera hadn't touched it. Either way, it's ended up in the back of the net, and well, there's immediately another highlight. Imagine if we concede another goal immediately. That would be disastrous, but a chance for an immediate response potentially. Ball played towards Gadia hasn't worked out for us, but Tejera has got to make amends and he's won the ball in a decent area. Adam at left wing back, bringing the ball forward, the number 15. Options around him, goes back to Schmid. JAIME is inside, and well, he was inside. The ball to him, disappointing, and now we've been caught out. Bruno Guimaraes winning the ball. Jolson bringing the ball forward. Tejera needs to do some defending. He doesn't do any defending, and but for a fantastic save by Setford, we could have been 2 goals down inside the first 2.5 minutes. We are not off to the dreamy start. I'm going to shout demand more from the players. We've got to deal with this corner, which it looks like we're going to do, at least initially. Still not entirely away from danger. But I'll tell you what, not liking what I've seen in the opening stages. It's the 5th minute. There's another high... Oh my God, I can't believe it. Is that Lemos? It's his second red card. The man is a nutter. The man is a... What... I'm so upset. He did get sent off on his debut in the Carabao Cup. He's now been sent off in the league. I mean, I did get warned that he could have a competitive streak. I didn't realise he was the reincarnation of Luis Suarez. I mean, what do you do now? I'm going to do something that I might live to regret, but I think I can't go super defensive here. I'm going to move McKillop back to play on defend. Machete can't play right wing back or right back, so he's going to have to stay at wing back. We'll move Adam back. I feel like I had to do this before a previous season. This feels like deja vu. We've lost a man. I have to keep some potency going. JAIME is going to get to play as a centre attack in mid now with this rejig. And yeah, we're going to drop the 3 at the back to a 2 at the back. It's a long way back from here, though. I love the look of Lemos. I think he's going to come really good. I described his form as looking like pea earlier, and now, well, there's going to be a big dollop of red in there. Should probably go see a doctor about that. He's been sent off after 6 minutes. 6 minutes! Is it because I shouted demand more? Was it lost in translation? Did he think I was shouting death to Wolves or something? I don't know. Silver lining, since we've gone down a man, they've not created nearly as much. Set piece Wolves, they are just all over us, but down a man away from home against what is a talented Wolves team. Don't let their position in the league table deceive you. It's hard to see a way back in this game right now. We are just getting completely, well, shut down, it feels like. And with balls like that from Machete, we're making problems for ourselves. Jones plays it inside. Vitina scores. It's 2-0. Do you ever have those games in Football Manager where it might only be 1 goal down and maybe there's a red card early on, but you just feel like mentally that's the game done? Can't come back from this. I just don't believe it. I mean, we lack quality anyway. We're predicted to finish bottom for a reason. When it's 10 against 11, it's going to be tough. When we're away from home, it's going to be tough. And when no one really in our team is turning up and playing all that well, it's going to be impossible. I mean, it could get worse before it gets better as well. There's 2 minutes of added time here. One thing I don't want to see here now is our goal difference get absolutely wrecked. It's not anything to write home about anyway, but it could prove crucial at the end of the year. And Wolves, Well, they could have had a third. They've hit the woodwork. We've been let off the hook. Half-time, 2-0. We've had one shot for a .01 XG. I mean, that says it all. Okay, I've told the players I'm not happy. I'm going to change things up slightly. I feel like I might as well just go for it, which maybe is a terrible mindset to have. I'm going to bring in Chilumbu, I think, here, and play him on the left with Gadia on the right as an advance forward. Elsewhere, you know what, Montero, you might as well come into the game now. I'm half tempted to take off Jaime, just because I know he's not fit. I know he's coming back from injury. I mean, why risk him, is what I'm thinking. We'll play McKillop through the middle, I think, as a shadow striker. But yeah, I think at this point, it's just about protecting one of our better players, which feels like a bizarre mindset to have. But given the fact that, obviously, Jaime has been out with an injury for a long, long time, probably for the best. Apparently, Adam is looking ill-disciplined, and he's already on a yellow card. Get him off the pitch right now. Machete, a right-back's not playing very well either. You know what? Volder wanted to give you a rest today. You don't get a rest. On you come. It's half-time, we're a man down, and I've made 4 subs. But at the end of the day, I'm kind of treating this as a bit of a write-off now. I can't expect us to come back here. I can't expect to see a better performance in the half. I'd rather just protect some of our players, rotate things around, give a couple of youngsters some game time, try and make something of this absolutely diabolically bad situation. I mean, Wolves are on the attack immediately. They could have a third early here. They do have a third early here. I know the game's saying, we're going to check VAR. No, look, the linesman's flag isn't raised, so it's going to count. Shock horror, the goal counts. I mean, look, it's not a good start to the half, but mentally, emotionally, physically, just existentially, I've checked out of this game now. I just feel sad. I mean, if we get a consolation, that would be good. If one player could get a goal just to give them a bit of, I don't know, morale, momentum, that would be nice. Chilumbu's not scored in a while. Neither has Gadia, who's lurking away in the middle. Montero on off the bench. Schmidt, have a shot, my son. Just have a go. Gadia through, could finish it, doesn't finish it, should have finished it. We could have had a goal there. I'm trying to look at a silver lining. Sheffield United are beating Manchester United 3-0. And they're in the relegation zone too. Are Leicester playing at the moment? I mean, Leicester aren't playing at the moment, so that's good news. But if they were to win their game in hand, they're not far behind us either. We are genuinely in a spot where we could end up in a horrible, horrible situation if we don't turn things around. It does feel like a long, long time ago that we had loads of momentum to start the season. We got, 2 wins and a draw in our first 3 games. It's not been good since then. I think maybe the true quality of our players is starting to show through. Maybe the team with the lowest wage budget in the league by like a massive margin and just lacking quality aren't going to be able to overperform all year. Who would have thought? I do just feel sad. I feel worried as well. I mean, the sending off completely ruined that game, but knowing our fixtures to end the season, the next couple of months feel absolutely crucial to actually get some points on the board. You've got to question, how differently could things have been feeling at the end of this Wolves game had we held on to that win against Southampton? Like I said, when you look at our upcoming games, we've got Manchester United in the FA Cup, Man City in the league upcoming. The reality is that this February-March period is going to be really, really important. Basically, by the time we get to the Peterborough United game at the start of April, I need to have 38 points because I can't expect to get points in these last kind of handful of games. It's going to be such a brutal run into the end of the season. I mean, let's look at the positives. It's the January transfer window now. If I want to go out and sign players, there might be the possibility to do that. Although in recent football managers, I do feel like it's got harder and harder to strengthen your team in January. Teams are a lot more averse to selling players during a season. Maybe I'm overreacting. Maybe it's a storm in the teacup. Because right now, yes, we're not in the best of form, but we have got points on the board. And at least as we sit here right now, we are 6 points clear. And our goal difference is only -12, which compared to a lot of the teams trailing us, I mean, it's really not that bad. Not exactly the ideal start to the week, but we're going to come back and try and bounce back next time. I hope to see you guys for it. Hopefully we will have won a game since then. That would be ideal. Otherwise, I will really start to be worried. Lots of action left to be played this season. Not sure when we'll be back next time. You'll have to tune in tomorrow to find out. Until then, take it easy. It is me, Jack, and I'll see you all on the next one. I'm out.